Today I wanted to talk about uniques. They're supposed to be very rare. They're supposed to be something that makes you thrilled when they finally drop. I think uniques, they're something that the community really likes the idea of, but it hasn't been fully realised for all the classes. I'm going to draw some comparisons between the Druid and the Barbarian to show the differences and how effective uniques are from one class to the next. Before I go into it, what do you think of uniques? Druid uniques are far and away some of the best, and I think what uniques should be. They have probably one of the most sought after uniques in Tempest Roar. It combines with other aspects to create probably one of the best builds in the game, the Were Tornado Druid. I remember when I was playing as my Druid, I was using the Pulverize build. It was pretty fun to play, but I knew that there was this other more powerful build waiting around the corner. I'd be zooming through Nightmare Dungeons, blasting through everything. So when Tempest Roar finally dropped, I was thrilled, I was excited. I immediately stopped what I was doing. I went back to Kjovishad, started to rejig my skills and Paragon points, etc. Get all my aspects that I've been saving, all my gear pieces that had the right affixes. I put the build together. This gave me such an absolutely great feeling of accomplishment, satisfaction. This is the kind of feeling that I think that unique should be drawing out when you finally get one to drop. Now, playing as a Barbarian, it's not quite the same. At first I was leveling using the Kratos Walking Arsenal build. After I knew once I got to around World Tier 4, I was gonna change it up to go to either Whirlwind or Hoda. But even when I got Gore's Grips, and when they finally dropped, I wasn't excited at all. I didn't care. I saved them. But the gloves, the rare gloves that I had were much better. It made no sense to change. So for Barb, I didn't get that same satisfaction, that sense of achievement for unlocking some kind of a rare unique. I have most of the uniques for both classes, but it feels really like, at least from my perception, some uniques have a higher rarity than others. Obviously the Uber uniques do, but we're not talking about them, just the standard ones. On my Druid, I consider myself extremely lucky. I got my Tempest Roar, first one to drop. I think I was only level 70 something. But I've heard of plenty through Reddit, etc., plenty of Druids that went all the way to 100 without getting a single drop of Tempest Roar. I think the only specific unique to Druid that I didn't get to drop was the Great Staff of the Crone. But some uniques also seem to be really common compared to others. Like the Helm Vasily's Prayer, I feel like I've gotten that 6 or 7 times through a playthrough. Penitent Greaves, I think I got to drop 4 in a row. I made a short about it. It was pretty ridiculous. Is this by design or is it just an accident? I don't know the stats on it, but it feels like some uniques are weighted much more than others. On my Barbarian, the only unique I haven't specific to the Barbarian to drop is Overkill, the two-handed mace, which I actually, funnily enough, did get to drop on my Druid when that bug was there, where the Druids were able to collect Barbarian uniques. But similarly on the Barb, I've had Ramaldani's Magnum Opus, Fields of Crimson, and even the new Azure Rat drop multiple times, and it feels like, okay, it's just money, it's just gold. I think this is being addressed in some way in Season 2. There's been talk of being able to target farm uniques through these new bosses that they're introducing, but we don't know too much information yet, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Hopefully if they are fixing it, they can do something to make the Barb's uniques a bit more interesting. The last thing I wanted to say about uniques then is one of the major differences that I've seen between the Druid and the Barb is the Druid uniques tend to enhance the flavour of the character. The ability to permanently stay in werebear form or werewolf form is fantastic. It's just probably just hearing that there is a unique like that would draw people to playing the character, whereas Barbarian doesn't really have that flavor text built into their uniques. Correct me if I'm wrong, like please let me know in the comments if you feel differently. For Barbarians, they have some effects like adding fire damage, or changing the type of damage to fire damage, or having a freeze effect. I feel like they could have dug a little deeper here. I don't know if there's some way to maybe lean into an elemental type barbarian or something like that. There's definitely something there, but it's not really fleshed out. There's just a little bit of something missing with the uniques, with most of them. Something to bring them to life, and they're in desperate need of a rework. Do you agree with what I've said? Am I just a big dum-dum who should be quiet and just say D4 bad? Or what do you think?